Hello beautiful beings, how are you today? In this video, we are going to talk about the difference between tarot and oracle decks. But before we get into that video, of course, I'm going to pull an oracle card for you today. Today, I have the Angels and Ancestors oracle deck. Do me a favor, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. I want you to focus on these cards, and of course, as usual, whenever you are seeing this video, this card is meant to be for you. And as usual, I am going to cut the deck in half. Oops, sorry. And this is your card for today. Autumn, release the old and rest. And this is your message for today. Release all of the pressure and expectations weighing you down. Shut it all so you can recover before moving into a time of renewal. You know what is heavy, what is holding you back. Is it a person, a situation, a dream? Like the trees letting go of their leaves and the fruit in the autumn, it's time to let it go. When you hold on, you try to control reality, and that never works. When you let go, you make space for the new to enter your life. You are being guided by your angels and nature herself to release whatever is stopping you from moving forward. And you can do this. As usual, I am wishing you a tremendous luck in your spiritual journey. So like I said, today's video, we're going to talk about the difference between tarot and oracle decks. I've been asked this question so many times, and I'm glad I am finally down and doing a video for you guys to get all of the differences between tarot and oracle decks. Let's get into it. I would say the first main difference between tarot and oracle decks is the size of the deck. So right here I have a tarot deck. Typically, this is how big they come. They usually have 78 cards in a deck, typically. And these 78 cards are broken down to major groups. So we have the major arcana and then the minor arcana. So the major arcana contains 22 cards relating to major events during a reading. Those cards is like the Judgment card, the Star card, the Wheel of Fortune. Those cards are the major arcana. Now, the minor arcana contains 56 cards, and they're broken down smaller groups, usually called the Wands, the Pentacles, the Swords, and the Cups. Depending on which tarot deck that you buy, these names can be interchangeable, but the meaning is still the same. Now, oracle decks, and I'm going to use this oracle deck as an example, typically comes less than 78 cards. So it depends usually on the person who's making the oracle deck. They have free range. So they can do 12 cards, 20 cards, 100 cards, depending on what they want the theme of their deck to be. I would also like to point out that oracle decks comes in literally different sizes. Sometimes majority of the oracle decks can come in the same size, but again, oracle decks have free range. They can come in literally different sizes. So this is an oracle deck right here. This is also an oracle deck right here. You can see the size difference. Now, tarot deck come typically in this standard size. Sometimes some tarot decks come in different sizes, but usually 100% of the time you will see this as the main size for tarot decks. So for traditional use, tarot decks are as traditional as they can get. Like I said, they're broken down by two groups, and those two groups are common throughout all tarot decks. So the structure and the meaning throughout all tarot decks are basically the same. There are also almost all Rider-Waite tarot deck inspired. I'm gonna show you what the Rider-Waite deck look like. So right here I have the original tarot, and this is basically what Rider-Waite's cards look like. So if you want something that is traditional, tarot is the way to go. All the meanings are basically the same throughout. Again, let me point out that this size is the same as this size for tarot decks. Now, this doesn't mean that your tarot deck is boring. There are many different styles and versions of the tarot deck. It's just the meaning and the structure, such as the groups as the cups and the swords, they're all the same. But of course, if you want to spice it up, there are different themes of tarot deck. So this is the original. This is what, again, everybody mostly goes by when they're creating a tarot deck. This is also another tarot deck, but it has different imagery and certain things that maybe they want to point out more in this deck. This is the Light Seers deck, but the meaning of each card again is the same as the Rider-Waite tarot deck. Now, of course, if you are again into more themes, there's a haunted house tarot deck, and it's basically inspired by things that can be haunted and more darker imagery. But they all have the same meaning and structure to a regular tarot deck that you see. So that's why a lot of people invest in more than one tarot deck. But of course, you can always just stick with one. Now, if you're looking for something more non-traditional, an oracle deck is perfect for you. There is basically no themes, no traditions that is carried out throughout the deck. A writer or a illustrator has 100% freedom when creating a oracle deck for you. So for example, this one right here is about stress reduction. So if you're looking for a deck that is about stress reduction, this one would be perfect. We also have another theme, which would be hidden worlds if you're into that. Another theme will be herbal healing, if that is also for you to be interested about. I've also seen themes such as dragons and fairies and anything under the sun, basically, that oracle decks have used to be for their inspiration. So because each oracle deck has a different meaning and a different use, you will typically buy more than one oracle deck to fit a certain situation. So if you are a reader, if you're looking to be a reader, then finding an oracle deck to fit different situations or certain situations will help you be more accurate in your reading. Personally, for me, I think oracle decks are fun to have. I love different styles of the oracle decks. The annoying thing is that they come in different sizes. So we have like pocket size oracle decks. This one is a crystal oracle deck. We have another pocket size, but now it's skinnier. This is another version of a pocket size, which is slightly more bigger than this one. You see how this can get out of hand? And then we have big oracle decks like this, which is about this size, which is much bigger than tarot decks, as you can see. But I still love oracle decks nonetheless, and I think they're amazing to have and important to have in a reading. Now, you might be asking which one is best for you to use. And I say neither are better than the other. Oracle or tarot decks, none of them is better than the other. It is up for you, the reader, to decide which one you personally like more. Some people like tarot decks because it goes so much more in detail than oracle decks, but some people like oracle decks because it gives them basically an overall insight of a situation. But why do you have to choose one? I say you can use both at the same time. The way to both use an oracle or a tarot card is an oracle card is a great way for you to get the main topic of your reading. So to be able to do a reading with oracle and tarot cards, you will pull an oracle first to get the main topic of your reading. Once you do that, you can go in with a tarot card and go more into detail about what that main oracle card is talking about. That's the way I like to use my oracle and tarot cards in a reading. And I say it's so much easier, especially when you're starting to have both, because it really makes you focus on a certain topic at hand. Where if you're just starting with just a tarot card, sometimes you could be confused on what exactly the tarot card, what situation the tarot card is talking about. I think I read up somewhere a perfect analogy for this tarot and oracle card combination. I've read somewhere that basically oracle cards is the main meal and tarot cards is the ingredients of that meal. So I think that's a perfect analogy for me to sum up exactly what I was talking about. Of course, you don't need to use both, but I'm just letting you know that it can be easier, and if you don't want to choose between a tarot or an oracle card, use both. Why not? If you need help picking a tarot or an oracle deck that is right for you, I actually already made a video for that, and you can see that video down in the description below or in one of the corners. I will link that video for you because I go more in depth of how to pick the perfect tarot or oracle deck for you. But while you're here, I want to remind you, when picking a tarot or oracle deck, go with whatever you intuitively feel like going for. If you intuitively feel like going for a tarot deck, go for a tarot deck. If you intuitively feel like going for an oracle deck, go for an oracle deck. There is no right or wrong way, especially to start reading and buying these cards. There's no right or wrong way to start your journey. I will always recommend for beginners to maybe start with the Rider-Waite tarot deck, which is the most traditional tarot deck that you can start with. But if you don't like that style and that's not fun for you, I would next recommend the Light Seers tarot deck, which basically has almost the same imagery, but it's better. It's more modern. It's not as traditional get. It's more modern. Again, the meaning is all the same. So I would recommend the Light Seers deck if you want something more modern compared to the traditional Rider-Waite deck. I hope this video clarified the difference between tarot and oracle decks. If you have any more questions, ask them in the comments below. I will try to answer all of the questions that you have if I missed anything. Also, please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I love you guys so much. I'm sending you a lot of light and love as usual.